Good day, great minds. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to briefly show us how I created this flyer design from scratch. So I'm going to be taking us through the steps. Please, before I proceed, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're a first timer here, please kindly subscribe. Help us to grow. We are looking to hit 100 subscribers by the end of this month. Please kindly help us to grow and subscribe to this channel. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to create a new document. So I will just go over to my file menu and click on new. So wait for the dialog box to pop out, and then I want to set my dimension at 1080 pixels by 1350 pixels. So that is what we have here, and the resolution is at 300. So follow these settings for your own design. Follow the settings. So I'm going to click on create. Alright, and now the first thing I'm going to do now again is to create a gradient fill on this background. So you could see in the other design, if I should shift this away, you will see that in this design there is a gradient fill on top of the face background that we have here. There's a gradient fill. So that's what we're going to be doing for this other design. So I'm going to come over back to our new Canva and pick up my rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. So I've succeeded in doing that. Okay, I'm going to apply a gradient fill now on this rectangle. So I'm going to go over to my adjustment layer and click on gradient. So please follow these settings. Follow what I'm going to do. So the black part here indicates the lower part of the gradient, and this other part here at the right indicates the upper side of the gradient. So I'm going to choose this basic gradient here. I'm going to click on the one that is on top here. I'm going to select that, and that's okay. So the next thing I'm going to do again is to change the color of the upper gradient that is on top here. So I'm going to click on the right part of the radar here and select red. I prefer using this red. So that's what I use in the other design. So I'm going to give it a deeper red, and this is okay for me. So I'll click on OK and OK. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the next background. I'm going to be blending to this background. So I'll go over to the other design, and I'll be clicking the background and taking it to the other design. Now this is not the original state of this background. This is not the original state. So let me just take it back to the original state of it and switch off everything. So this is how this background came. So this is how the background came. It came like this, naturally, like this. So what I did was to first of all apply a layer mask effect on it by adding layer mask, and then pick up my brush tool and erase below here to blend this background to the gradient we have under. And the next thing I did again was to then come over to the blending options here and choose the lighten blending option. So I click on lighten, and that's what I used. The next thing I did again was to apply Gaussian blur effect on this. So I went over to my filter menu and click on blur, then Gaussian blur. Then I set my Gaussian blur at 22. So that was what I did. Then I clicked on OK. So because we already have a Gaussian blur, that's why it's not taking effect. So just have to activate this Gaussian blur here. So it is taking effect now. Now the next thing I'm going to do now we have succeeded in blending this background into this gradient. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to bring in the next background. Now the next background is this. So this is the next background. So I'm going to click on this and drag to the design here. Okay. So now this backgrounding actually come like this. This is what I did. Let me change it to normal. Okay, and then disable. Okay, let me delete the layer mask. All right. So now this is how the background came. So the first thing I did was to apply the hard light blending mode on it. So I applied the hard light blending mode. That's okay. And the next thing I did again was to add layer mask and erase the unwanted parts of this background below. So that was what I did. And then that's all for now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to create a reflection of light at the center of this background. So I'll add a new layer here. I'm going to create a new layer and pick up my brush tool and make sure the foreground color is changed to white. So I'm going to click on this arrow and change it to white. So I'm going to increase the size of it and click at the center. So I've gotten this. That's what I needed. I just needed that reflection of light at the center. So now this is where I'm going to place the ministers, images. So it will look kind of realistic. The reflection of light will look realistic behind the ministers. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go over to the other design and bring the minister's image. So I'm going to pick them one by one and click and drag and take it here. So I'll allow it to load and wait for it to load. Okay, so give it some time to load. All right, so now we have our minister's image brought in here. So this is how I edited the minister's image. So first of all, let me delete the layer mask and also delete the layer mask for this. Okay, so this is how this image came. And the first thing I did was to add some camera raw effects or camera raw filter on it. So I added some camera raw filter on this image by going over to the filter menu and then click on camera raw filter. So with that, I was able to edit the appearance of the image and make it pop out. So what camera raw filter helps one to do is to increase the vibrance of an image, also increase the exposure and the highlights, as well as the contour. So this camera raw effects filter helped me to pop out the beauty of this image by increasing the texture, the clarity, and all that. So I will not be adding any edits here because I've already edited the image. So it will not get rid of the original beauty of it. So I'm not going to be doing much editing on the image. So I'll just cancel this. So if you want me to create a tutorial on how to, edit an image using camera raw filter, please notify in the comment section so that I will know. So now this is what I did now. I added a layer mask here and pick up my brush tool and erase the lower part of the background. I erased that. So I did same for the second minister here. So add layer mask and pick up the brush tool again, reduce the size and erase the lower part here. So that's what I did. I erased the lower parts. So I'm going to position this together. Okay. So I have this here. And I'll take this to the center. going to erase this part again. Okay, so we have the minister's images well positioned. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the text. I'm going to bring in the text, the fresh fire and deliverance service. So we can drag to the other design and keep it here. Okay. Now, if you look closely to this text, you will see an effect on the text. So this is not a mock-up. I created this effect by myself. So this is how I created this effect. And also the name of this font, the name of this font is called Alpha Cora, Alpha Cosa, Alpha Cosa. That's the name of the font. So you can go on Google and download it, or as well as you could check the Google Drive where I'll be dropping the resources for this tutorial. I could as well drop the font there for you to download. Okay, so I made use of that font. And also the next thing I did was to apply bevel and emboss effect on this text. Very, very important, bevel and emboss effect. So this is how I applied it. So first of all, I clicked on the text layer and then came over to the layer here and double click on the text layer. It will automatically take me to the layer style dialog box. So then in the layer style dialog box, I will come over to where I have bevel and emboss. So now this is what I did to that text. I came over here and selected emboss where you have style, and then where we have the techniques, I selected smooth. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. Let me just create another text to show us how it's going to look like. Let me just create another text from scratch. So okay, so now we have a fresh text here. So I'm going to be doing that with this. All right then, so now we have a fresh text. This is how I achieved that text effect. So I'll just go to my text layer here and double click on it. So the layer style dialog box will pop out. I will wait for the layer style dialog box to pop out, and then I would go over to bevel and emboss. I'll click on bevel and emboss. Then I'll go over to where we have the style and click on emboss. And next thing I'm going to do again is to go over to where we have techniques and make sure it's on smooth. And the size, I'm going to increase the size and reduce it as well if I want to. But I'm going to increase the depth. I'm going to increase the depth and then reduce the softness. I will change the color to white. So change the color to white, and that's okay. And then reduce the size and bring it inside here and increase the softness a bit. So you can see now that is how I acquired that. So I'll just click on OK. Please follow the settings I used in doing this. So follow it in your own tutorial or in your own personal practice. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. So that's how I created that text effect. And then I'm going to go back to the other design. I'll pick up the other text we have here. So I'll click and drag to new document. So I'll allow it to load, and I'll take this up here a bit. So mind you, if you look at the other documents, the text here, the fire text here is on top of the deliverance text. So I'm going to go over to the other design and do same. So I'm going to click on this and drag it down to below the fire text layer. Okay, so we have that already, and then I'll select this. I'll create a multiple selection and take this up a bit. All right, so let me zoom out and see how our design looks like. Okay, zoom out again. All right, so we are almost done with this design. All right, the next thing again is to go back to the other design again and bring in the other text. So I'll not spend time in typing so much of this text so that I will not waste time in this tutorial. So I just want to do a multiple selection. So click this and drag to the next design and drop it here. So that's how I'm going to do. I'll drop it here. Okay. So make sure everything is well centralized. Everything is well centralized. So the next thing that's remaining here in this place is to bring in the location icon. So click and drag. Okay, so I have my location icon here, and I'll take it back to where it was before. So I'll just zoom in and see what the work looks like. Okay, so then let me see what next left to do. So I'm going to pick up the names of the ministers. So I'll pick this and drag to the other design and then drop it there. So in your spare time, you could take time in typing the names of these ministers. So I don't want to waste so much time in this tutorial. So I'm going to create a rectangle below this minister's name so that it's going to be visible. So that I want the minister's name to be visible. So because of the color of the clothes he is putting on, so it's contrasting with the text color here. So I want to create something that's going to make the text become visible. So I'll click here and drag. Okay. So I'll take that rectangle up a bit. Okay. So I'll give it a color. So let me see the color I used here. Okay, I'll give it a deep blue color. So I'll double click on that and give it this kind of blue. Let's see. Okay, so I'll click on OK. That's it. And let's see what next is left to add in this design. Zoom out. So the name of the church and the present, they're left to add. So I'm going to click here, drag to a new document and drop it here. Okay. So I'm going to post the resources in the Google Drive. So everyone watching this tutorial, if you're looking to replicate this tutorial video, or if you're looking to replicate this design, you can as well go over to the Google Docs. The link is below the description there. So I would like you to go there and download the resources and make use of it. All right, so we are done with this tutorial. So let me just see what next here. Okay, there's a sparkle, a fire sparkle below here. I downloaded this So I'm just going to drag it and take it here to just give us, that sparkle of fire, since the theme says fresh fire. So just to give us that sparkle of fire. And all right, you can't see that now. Okay, so now we're going to end this tutorial here. I'm going to end this tutorial here. Please, if you have any question, ask in the comment section below. Ask in the comment section below. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and help us to grow and reach a larger audience. Thank you for your time and see you in the next tutorial.